Alright, for the Joker and the Thief. Now, this one I did care about a lot. I mean, this is one of the things that I wrote about, and it was a world I felt like I could connect with. I mean, the story is about three teenagers, well, mostly one. I mean, the story version focuses on one, but the script focuses in on all three. Anyways, I'll just stick to one character to keep it simple. This character named Christopher goes through a very dramatic period of his life and decides to make very awful decisions, which eventually come back and bite him, but not before he realizes the error of his ways and tries to do better, but ultimately fails in the end because you can't totally change the past, which is an idea I very much sympathize with. There's a lot of personal reasons why I would sympathize with it, but, you can't change the past. Like, the past is the past, and it still affects your future, and you have to be aware of that. You can't just put it in the past. You can't just put it in your memory and go do away with it. What does this piece illustrate about you as a writer? I feel like it illustrates the idea that as a writer, I enjoy the idea of creating a dystopia. I like creating an imperfect world that kind of mirrors our own in a way, because I feel like it's a great way to show flaws in things. I mean, it's a very straightforward method, but I feel like it works. And I mean, it works for me. So I can't complain about that. How did this piece evolve over time? Well, initially this was one of my throwaway pieces. One that I would just do, get it over with, or whatever. But eventually it kind of stuck with me. Like, I felt like the message I wrote really resonated with me, which is weird because it never happens. So I decided to go back, and I must have revised it like 10 times. I really liked it. And then after I revised it like 10 times, I decided to go back and write a script after it, it was a 60-page script that I'm not even going to bother to revise because I seriously don't have the month it would take to revise the entire script. Explain your most recent revisions and why you made them. Well, I actually made a script, and I felt like a script would make the story more whole, and it would add more depth to the story, more depth to the characters. I felt like it was a great idea, just something I could kind of go with and just keep doing. And what's a specific piece of feedback? Well, a lot of people who read it really liked it, but I mean, it is kind of a depressing story considering everything. It's not a perfect story by any stretch of the imagination, but that's the point. It's a very imperfect world with very imperfect decisions and very imperfect people, which is just the way the real world is, in at least my opinion. And I could be right, I could be wrong, but I mean, it just kind of makes sense that it would work out that way.